Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to my playthrough, for which name I still haven't decided on. It's not important. What is important, however, is that I have to leave my home in a little bit over an hour, which means that sadly, my apologies, this video will not be very long because I also want to eat something, and in fact food is what I'm going to treat as my personal reward for finishing the recording session today. So that's how it's gonna be. However, after recording this video, I'll finally actually publish the first series of videos. And the reason why I haven't done so yet, actually why I haven't done so yet is, well, the only real reason for that, by which I only started the video. It's not even a minute in and I already managed to somehow fail with English. It's ridiculous. Also, Star Trial, I actually like this event, if it's the one that I think about, and it's a different one. Well, still, it's a cute little event that I'm obviously gonna be on the militaristic side and give my people more influence. Sure, I'll lose some approval, but in a second I'll declare war, which will make people happy again, because, as you know, all that people really care about is just killing other people. And that's kind of how I get about in life. You know what I mean. I don't know what I mean, but you might, right? No? Maybe? Yes? Who knows by this point, who knows. Araya needs somebody to float near it, and I have a ship getting to it, but Kuma will need another ship as well, and I see that I already have a corvette. I'll leave corvette on guard duty for cancel, while this patrol ship is gonna go to Kuma and it's gonna orbit it nicely. Leo doesn't need anything orbiting it just yet. As for other systems, every other system has things in it, which is pretty nice if you ask me. Personally, I think it's nice. So, what else is that we have to do? Well, in terms of systems management, we don't have much. In terms of resources, we don't have much. In terms of anything, we don't have much, except for the utter destruction of the enemy. No, I did want to potentially try and keep up the pace of destroying one empire per video. If our next target are the Vodiani, and if those are the only two arc ships they have, then we might be capable of doing just that. Also, looks like they started trading just now. Also, hello there, arc ship. That's, I mean, it's not even repaired, because it ran away last time and it had no chance to repair, so it's gonna have a problem, I think. Also, it's just a scout ship. I can easily kill it, or at least force it to retreat, which is what I'm gonna try to do. Is it a scout? It's actually equipped with guns, believe it or not, but they're not long range, so I'm gonna try to stay at long range and just snipe the bastards. And this has a victory, no problemo. My ships are way more powerful than what the AI has apparently, which frankly strikes me as somewhat surprising, or rather would strike me as somewhat surprising if not for the fact that we're fighting against Vodiani, and AI, as I said many times in the past, has no clue how to play as the Vodiani. Oh well. Let's specialize these plants, shall we? This one is a swamp plant, so just a spin project. This one is a dry plant, so spin project again. Followed up with a bit more food, because we're gonna need it, a bit more production, because we're gonna need it, question mark? We might not, but why not have extra production when we can have it? Libra has nothing to do, it's just steps and power, and I don't intend on going back in tech to grab the steps. Although actually they do have adamantium. I know I have another source of adamantium in my empire, but getting a secondary source wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea. So for that matter, I'll let you make sustainable farms just once, and that's gonna be it for now. When it comes to technology, however, oh, never mind, I'm researching impact sites, and then I'll be in Era 3. But at some point I still might go back to Era 1 and get the steps colonization. I still want to have the Slugget Sludge Center though. It's gonna help me a lot with my resource extraction processes. Also, do I have any... I do have antimatter. Yes, alright, that's good. I'll be able to make carriers. That's all I care about, really. All I care about in life, you could say, but that would be a little bit of an overstatement. I care about killing more than I care about carriers. So let me drink a bit to celebrate the fact of how evil I am. Man, I wonder if I was this evil if video games didn't exist and I had no place to actually vent on, per se. Probably not. I mean, in real life we don't actually have carriers, so that... I mean, we do have carriers, but they're not as cool, so I wouldn't even have a reason to be evil, because, let's be honest, I'm mostly evil for the explosions. Alright, anyway, I want to give this guy the public relations expert skill. Aside from it being extraordinarily useful for the United Empire, you see, it also gives you on the second level the Senate point, which gives you 50% migration points on systems, which is a system that, due to its reworkness, or rather not being in an end state as of yet, we're not gonna comment on because it's gonna evolve, I assume, quite drastically, or maybe not very drastically. Still, it is gonna evolve, so there's no need to actually discuss its usefulness. Let's just for the time being say that it's a nice system to have, or rather ability to have, or rather it might be a useful ability in the future at some point in time, which is good enough, I suppose. Let's start off with the ship, because I believe it has some pretty pathetic guns. These guns are not worthy of being here, so let's go ahead and change them. Change them a lot, I have a ton of money in fact. So, let's give ourselves a ton of improved sync lasers, which are gonna look cool. And give us an improved shield as well. And I don't act right. Hyperion, that's a problem. I forget it. My apologies, game, my apologies. Can I afford a singular laser? That would be cool if I could have one. No? Maybe on the side? It's not gonna make sense if it... No, it's double the cost on the side, right. I'll just improve your lasers then. That costs a lot for a little bit of extra damage. I'm still gonna do it because I want it to be representative, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try to hand down the enemy arc ships. I should have what it takes. Do I have the infantry though? If I were to invade the arcs, because arcs are kind of specific, you don't have to use ground invasion to fight the arcs. I have no infantry on that one ship, but whatever. You can ground invade arcs, as strange as it sounds. Imagine it's boarding procedure rather than a ground invasion. However, alternatively, you can just go ahead and straight up attack arcs in a space battle, which is also a very valid way of destroying them. Or rather, well, I would say taking them over, but you don't really take them over per se. You cannot. You just destroy them. So there is that. Alright, interest cultivation. Alright, that's cool. I don't think there is much else to do. Leo is still in its lame place. I can give you a bit more food if you want, because I'm a generous dictator. And I am willing to give you just that. Singles. Wait a second, Libra doesn't need it. We don't have steps colonization just yet. I'll give you exotic rations instead. I want more soldiers. How are we doing on soldiers, by the way? Decent amount. I could, in fact, increase my infantry to be even... I cannot. I don't have 100 Hyperium. But what I do have is access to tanks. So I should probably, first of all, improve them so they are more efficient than the guest infantry units, which AI tends to use vigorously on every occasion. And then make sure that I have a lot of tanks in my empire per army, because they are just flat out better than infantry is. So let's have about 70% of my army composed of tanks. Sure, that can be countered by air units, but the enemy is not going to use air units, because the enemy doesn't know how to use the air units. And even if they did, tanks are still pretty good. I would say is a quote that is worthy of reuse in pretty much all scenarios, except for scenarios where there are no tanks. So yeah, I see no reason why not equip my ships with as many tanks as humanly possible. Let's end the turn again. I need to pick up the pace. We're almost 8 minutes in. I still haven't killed anybody. Haven't I? No, I think I killed one ship. Good enough, I guess, for the time being, but we need to speed this up ever so slightly again. I have a hero that came back into service. Somebody did die, yeah, I remember that vaguely. It happened a long time ago. Probably wasn't an important hero, but the important thing is I'm now in the third era, which allows me to make even more awesome ships, and the Scientist Party has also unlocked. Sorry for dismissing the screen too quickly. Alright, first things first, I want to rush carriers, but this will be kind of pointless, because I have actually never researched Marketplace, so I have no way of getting the resources aside from actually harvesting them myself, which is what I'm gonna have to do. So there's 2 technologies in, and then I'll be able to get the carriers. Alternatively, I can just research the marketplace now. This will be just 1 cost of technology that I can get instantly, and then I'll have access to carriers, because I'll just buy the resources I need, which is what I'm gonna do, in fact. So that's gonna be cool and all. So let's see, what else is there to do? I can get body language institute, very powerful and very useful for the end of the Empire. I might consider that. However, what I can also get is carriers, because that's the whole reason I want to get the access to the marketplace. So let's go ahead and do just that. Carriers is gonna be awesome, because they blow things up, and they're big, and they have a lot of guns. I don't necessarily care about them being big, although it does help with the magnificence factor. Alright, you're kind of useless, aren't you? I'm gonna give you increased... Oh, you don't even have a level up, you just are back in service. Alright, I'll leave you in service then until I actually make some carriers or cool ships. Speaking of cool ships and or carriers, I do need to register their farming. Now, actually, do I have Hyperium lasers, which means that they are more or less the same power, in fact the exact same power, as the Meg lasers. Unfortunately, we don't get the improved version of Super Laser, which is a bit sad. So there goes the short range of the super lasers. Yeah, well, let's use Maggie lasers so I can spam ships again. So there we go, basic lasers and basic shields, but they're gonna deal a nice amount of damage. And some more armor as well for a nice touch. Now, I do have access to some support thingies. For example, I can increase the damage of my weapons. That costs a lot of titanium. I can increase my movement speed as well as add a little bit of health. That costs a lot of titanium, but considering how far away from us the enemy is, and considering the fact how much titanium I have, I believe it's a decent enough investment. It's an investment that I'm willing to make at the very least, so I ain't gonna make it. I could now retrofit corvettes, but I think I'm just gonna have fleets composed entirely out of battleships and later not cravers, cruisers, not cruisers, carriers, because why not? Small ships are for small people, and considering the scale of the universe, we are all small people, but nevertheless I am not willing to make small ships because they're just too small for a lot of explosions, which is my primary measuring system when it comes to the usefulness of a ship, obviously. Alright then, we're nearing one arc ship. It seems to be potentially unupgraded, which means makes it an easy target. There's also a leech over here protecting it. Again, an easy target, nothing that I'm terribly afraid of. So let's go ahead and send our hero ship over Danube. The other hero is gonna attack Omdor, and meanwhile at Esther and Miragashi, we're gonna actually make some ships, which is gonna be pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and make 2 battleships over here. Miragashi should be able to make 1 in a moment. So there will be 3 ships, which is our current cap on ships. It's gonna be increased as soon as I research carriers, but only a little. Not enough for me to really care about that, really. Alright, we actually have Cohen's Antarctic, which does have access to antimatter, which I cannot use as of yet, but who cares? I'll definitely give it a Slag and Sludge Center, even though exoscience stations are extra effective on cold planets, but obviously want to maximize the exploitation of antimatter. It's rather important, mind you. So there is that, and I'll let you do just that, and not really much else. And we are ready to proceed into the next turn again, 12 minutes in, I need to pick it up. Alright, next turn I can declare war on the Vodiani, which I'll happily do. Let's think about it. How easy is gonna this war go? It's gonna be extremely easy. What about wars in the future videos? I still have 2 factions left to conquer. One are the Lumeris, which are probably being conquered by the Sophons right now. What about the Sophons? Are they gonna be worthy enemies? Usually, they should have a much higher score by this point, because usually AI can play Sophons actually surprisingly well, and usually does. Do you hear that? Never mind, I had some noise in my apartment, and so if I suddenly go silent or if I suddenly start screaming, please let some authorities know that a YouTuber is probably being kidnapped and or killed, and or somebody is breaking into his house. That would be nice. So with you as my backup, let's keep playing, shall we? So, usually Sophons should do much better, because the AI really knows how to play Sophons, because let's face it, Sophons are pretty easy to get a hang on, and, you know, easy to understand. What are those noises? Maybe it's just temperature changing? I'm gonna assume it's just temperature changing and not anybody breaking into my house. This could also be birds. Those are also things, but they're not usually as loud. So there's that. It's a governor, right? I think it's a governor. It's probably a governor, right? I assume it's gonna. Let's give it extra ability with cold planets. I probably shouldn't have done that now that I think about it, but who cares? Also, it could be my computer, but no, it sounded like it's far away, coming from far away. And I didn't see why my computer would be getting hot. I'm playing this game at a lower resolution, so it shouldn't really make it too hot per se. So it should be all good. Anyway, I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say. Oh yes, the Sophons. So are they still gonna be more dangerous? Well, I hope so. Usually Sophons are the first ones that get access to big ships, and they tend to actually make the big ships, unlike most other people, which makes them pretty cool in my book, if I may say so myself. On the enemy scale of I like to fight those guys, they're pretty high up there. So yeah, I'm hoping for the best. I'll give you the planetary transport and even AI labor. Why not? I'm feeling generous. And in fact, I can give myself a Slag and Sludge Center, because this system does have titanium, and I want to have as much titanium as possible. Same goes for the Hyperion, actually. I completely forgot about that fact. So, Slag and Sludge Centers, there you go. Any other system that has important things? Well, yes, but I'm not exploiting them as of yet, so not really important. Ziterbia does have something, however. So, Slag and Sludge Center instead of the thingies I had before. And we're good. Now, I am orbiting Omdor, so everything is set. The trap is sprung almost. It's not really a trap. I'm nearing an enemy with a massive fleet of death, so I think it's pretty self-explanatory that I'm about to declare war, but still, Let's call it a trap for the trapicity's sake. That made no sense. Whatever. So, first things first, we need to kill the... Oh, never mind, we're just... Did they change that? Can you no longer invade arcs? That's possible. I haven't tried fighting arcs in this patch, actually. I mean, I tried at the very start, when the game was way too baggy to continue. And then I was like, you know what? AI has no idea how to play as Vodiani, so there's no reason to play against them because it's just a stomp. Which we are gonna experience now. Do you want to watch this? I don't really have the time for this, but this arc might not actually escape, which would make it a cool looking battle. So let's go ahead and go for evasive, watch the battle, and hope that it stays in combat, and we get to experience the awesomeness that is destroying an arc ship. That would be really nice. I would enjoy this. I'd be really happy. Alright, let's skip to action real quick and see if it does skip. It did skip to action. We're actually gonna fight an arc ship. I'm rather excited. So, is the camera director going to recognize the existence of an arc ship, or is it not? Well, it actually is recognizing its existence. Wow, it zoomed in for a very short moment. Oh well, we keep firing. That's actually a pretty cool design. I haven't noticed that the arc ship has this little nose on the front. Even though I played as the Vodiani quite often, but you see, like I said, camera director not usually caring about arc ships. Also, for some reason, looks like we didn't actually see any decals as my ships were hitting the arc ship. Either way, looks like the arc is gonna go down pretty quickly. I would love for the camera director to switch to arc again. Yes, I know my ships are firing pretty coolly, but show me the arc. I see a bit of the arc. It's being fired upon. Nice. My ships are taking out, but not a huge degree. And the arc, oh yeah, the arc is about to be dead. I don't need to worry about the camera director for much longer. And if I think it's dead, yeah, it's going down. Are we gonna see the explosion? Yes, we are. Oh, imagine us how many people we made it. Actually, considering it's the AI and he's no idea how to play this ship, we probably only killed a few. Still, it felt pretty good. I probably shouldn't be murdering vampires though. It feels wrong for many reasons that you won't understand because they are a bit of an inside joke. Still though, I murdered vampires, it's pretty bad. There's a governor that survived the explosion. I have no idea how. I guess slugs are pretty survivable. Let's stay in the system for the time being because I have a feeling that this action might try to go back to Omdor and colonize it for itself. Besides, Omdor seems like a cool place to be at, so why don't we have, let's say, Zeterbia, make ourselves an expansion ship. Let's in fact retrofit it slightly so it's a bit faster. Edit, no need for guns, just fast ships. I mean fast engines. And are we willing to spend titanium on a ship that is supposed to sacrifice itself? We're not. So just increase the speed by a little. And a seller ship, thank you very much. And let's have it out as quickly as possible so it goes to Omdor, colonizes it for us and not for the enemy. Meanwhile the other fleet is not yet there at Dainip. But still, we killed one thingy. Let's hope that we can kill another. 18 minutes in. Time is running out, but I'm still doing relatively okay. I can drink a bit more water. We're gonna kill Vodiani before I end this video. I made a promise. Next video's promise is gonna be a little bit harder to fulfill because I have to fight Sophos, but maybe for that reason I'll simply record the next video for a little bit longer. I'll make sure to record it not before I leave house. Let's just put it this way. And I'll probably record it after I come back to house and I have nothing else to do, which will be a thing after starting from tomorrow, I believe. So I'll have time. It's gonna be cool. No, tomorrow I won't have time. The day after tomorrow I will, so it should be okay. Anyway, things to kill. I like things to kill. I can kill them. Let's kill for the Vodiani because they actually have a fleet. Is it gonna be? Oh no, it's just an arc ship. Do we care about watching another arc ship die? We just did watch that. It's and I don't have enough time. I'm gonna drink some water while I'm slaughtering civilians. Alright, so as the AI is deciding what happens in the battle, the effects of this thingy are gone, alright. I guess I care about it. The action ship is dead. Long live my future colony ship, question mark? Do I care about colonizing this system? It has gas giants, it has ash, and it has a source of adamantium, which isn't that bad. Also Tundra. And mostly I want to make sure that the enemy doesn't colonize it, honestly, but for the same reason I could colonize this desert. It's a small enough system for me to ignore it completely. I'll leave the fleet in there, mind you, just to make sure that the enemy can't come back and retake it. And if they try, then I'll be able to destroy whoever does try to do so. So it's gonna be fine. Let's go for evasive, ready, and I think we're ready. Amusingly enough, that was not intended. I did not mean to say ready twice, but I did and it worked out, so deal with it. Also, we can improve the future colonies. So, what do we have access to? We have access to ionic crystal. We are actually producing ionic crystal. And it's actually a pretty powerful and useful thing. What about Jadonics? We're also making some Jadonics, not a lot, but some. And we're making a ton of blue-cap modes, but we're using those blue-cap modes already. So how about for our next special, we're gonna use Jadonics in combination with Ionic Crystals. It's gonna be pretty hard to pull off, but if we do manage to do that, it's gonna be a very, very powerful improvement to our colony. I mean, plus of the flat-out industry and extra 10 science per population, it's gonna be pretty meaningful if you ask me, and I dare say that it will be meaningful indeed. However, for the time being, the only thing that is meaningful that I care about is making some more feats. By which I mean carriers, by which I mean just flying death machines really. Which is gonna be pretty cool by and on itself. The Vodian are still not dead. They still have some arc ships flying about, that's the first thing. The second thing is it would still take a few turns for the game to recognize their demise. So I dare not end the video. Besides, it's only been 20 minutes. 20 minutes is by no means long enough by my standards. I don't usually publish videos shorter than that ever, unless they're like giveaway announcement videos. Oh yeah, I was supposed to make that. I will make that! Trust me, maybe by the time you watch this, I will have already made that. Or some other type of videos. Anyway, this guy, like I said, he's awesome. He allows you to gather a lot more resources. And for that reason, I like him. Also, his abilities flat out, aside from resource gathering, are just pretty useful overall, I'd say. So, let's see, do I care about food by this point in the game? I don't think I do. I don't know where I would put him to care about food, really. So I'm gonna give him, well, bonus in food and industry, sure, yeah, don't laugh at me. And why not give him a bonus in food as well? I think there are some planets that could use him, actually. Let's have a quick look at the most promising planet. So let's have a look-see. It looks like it's Cancer or Miragashi. Both have a very nice amount of industry production. Cancer and Miragashi. Cancer's there, and it does have strategic resource, which is nice. And Miragashi has a less useful strategic resource. So let's get this guy on Cancer, especially since Cancer seems like a really awesome place that could actually use the food that this guy can give us. So let's assign him real quick. Let's give us a settlement, because there's no reason whatsoever why we wouldn't do that. Let's change this into a slug and sludge center after a while. Let's colonize the ocean so we can use it as a breeding ground for our people. Breeding ground. I think they would be happy if they had me use that way of describing this place. And, oh hey, they came back to Omder. Alright, let's go ahead and murder it then. I said they will be back, and I was right. That's why I stuck around. Also, another arc ship is on its way to Daneb. I'm gonna kill it really easily, but first things first, they actually... Hey, they have a ship! Do you wanna watch it die? Why not? It's a regular ship. It's not gonna be as awesome as destroying an arc ship, but at least it's something, right? I wanna see the finest the Vodiani were able to produce during the 48 turns of playing on fast speed. So yeah, there is that. They're actually gonna go for medium range as well as we are, which means that my ships are going to absolutely slaughter the enemy, which is rather lovely if you ask me. You probably won't ask me, but still, we have to skip to action. I'm very sorry. I'm sure it would look cool if we did it, but I don't have that kind of time on my hands. I'm hungry. I need to leave house quickly. So yeah, and I don't like eating under stress as well, so I'm really not gonna look out for much longer. But oh hey, they're actually using missiles. I might take some damage. I don't know why they went for medium range, unless they didn't and it's just the UI failing me again, but still. No, it looks like they are actually far away from me. They might be going for sniper strategy. Which should be okay, because if that is the case, I'm probably countering them. Oh well, doesn't matter. My fleet is much larger than the enemy's fleet, so I should be just fine. I mean, yeah, look at that salvo of death. Salvo of yellowy death. I did lose something though, I think. So those missiles definitely did have an effect. I don't care about that effect too much. Wow, this guy, wow. I wish the game engine was powerful enough to support us watching the ship split in half as it's being destroyed. But we're gonna have to wait until Elder Space 3, I believe, under that. Still, I mean, I'm not complaining. The battles look much better than in Elder Space 1, so I'm really happy about that. I like battles in Elder Space 1, and if that's the improvement, then I really do expect to watch ships falling apart in Elder Space 3. Also, ramming. Seriously, Amplitude Studios, please implement ramming. I'm not begging, but I kinda am, alright? Anyway, not destroy, dreadnoughts, which are also called carriers in another way. The ship type is carriers. They're pretty big, pretty useful ship. They destroy things. They're really good at destroying things. They're basically like arc ships, except even better at the mass destruction that they can cause, which is a reason for concern for the enemies and a reason of awesome for you. So let's give them as many lasers as I can, because lasers look cool and I already decided to stick around to lasers. Now, the next thing, I mean, of course, missiles will be cool, but we'll wait with that until the next patch. Now, we're gonna need to have some armor, some more armor, and a bit of shields, but let's switch the armor and shields around, actually. So we have mostly a big amount of armor and a bit of shields, because, like I said, armor I deem to be more important, and also good engines, and because of how important the ship is, I will give it improved weapons. I mean, plus 25% damage for all of those bad boys is gonna be quite magnificent. Let's apply the changes. Now, I cannot make a carrier just yet, and I wouldn't make it in Muragashi anyway. I mean, Muragashi? What is Muragashi? Does anybody care about Muragashi? I don't care about Muragashi, so why would anybody else do? So there's that. Research. Well, we need to start actually gathering things that we'll need in order to make carriers for the future, because I don't necessarily want to use the marketplace forever, so I can start queuing those things up. I can also, yeah, I think that's more important than getting access to the steppes planets. I can also obviously get access to the body language institute, which would make me overpowered, even more overpowered than I already am, but I don't really care about that too much. I can gain access to cultural flexibility, but since I already made everybody within my sphere of influence, it wouldn't be very important. A pet Casimir effect would potentially allow my ships to fly faster, so that's something that's tempting, but as I said, first and foremost, I want to gain access to, you know, being able to utilize those resources, and I can actually buy out one of them. I think I have access to more antimatter than antimatter, so let's start by harvesting antimatter and then continue with the other things. So we have instant access to antimatter, very nice. The other thing, it will be ready in 3 times, which is nice enough, I suppose. Let's oh yeah, you can go and invade Axe, I'm not completely stupid. Alright, let's preemptive bombing, I don't care about it. We're gonna destroy the Axe anyway. Do you want to watch tanks? You probably do, although I really don't have enough time now. But I did promise to kill the Volyanis, so please kill them fast. That's how tanks look like. Some of them United Empire tanks, some are Hisho tanks. I have no idea which are which ones. Those might be the Hisho because they look like creatures. Then again, Hisho are kind of flying thingies, so maybe those are United Empire. But then why would they be this kind of strange? I have no idea. I'm not gonna ask any questions. Maybe they're not even either of those. Still, the enemy infantry is fighting quite valiantly, but it's also dying. So yeah, this is a victory. The enemy is dead. They went for local resistance. That's how they were able to defend against me for so long. Omdor is empty again, and I may have to call it a victory for the time being, because I'm really running out of time, and I really want to eat something. So I am gonna call it that. Hey, I'm really sorry. It's gonna be a long time, but I have to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Bomber. Thank you very much for watching. We're just gonna watch to see the election results. They are pretty much how I feel at heart, although I'll probably have more green over here, just because green is pretty. Still, I would probably just force the military party to dress in green. That's probably what I'll do. Green can also be a violent color after all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you online!